Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and I'm going to be telling you about Holy Mountain Shaker by Luca Regic. It's for Old School Essentials. You can pick it up on Drive-ttrpg for the PDF or print, Exalted Funeral. Hopefully it's at your local store. I'll be spoiling this, of course. I've done these before, and this one's different. This one is a lot. This is ambitious. It's very imaginative. It is not going to be for everyone. There's some people that will absolutely not get it whatsoever, have a hard time understanding it, and hopefully this video will help you out. Should you down the road be looking and you say, oh, what's this adventure about? Let's see if someone's made a video of it on YouTube. Oh, this guy did. Okay, well, he's going to tell me how it is. That's the main goal of this video. And then you'll be like, yeah, you know what? That adventure's not for me, because it's not going to be for everybody. A fantasy point crawl adventure for characters of 5th to 6th level. You can use classic or advanced fantasy and point crawl adventure. That's going to be the thing that a lot of people may not like. But I think it does it pretty well for what it's doing. And it is the thing that you've got to try to understand most of it. The most difficult thing to try to grasp on this. So what's happening? So the story is fine. It's interesting. It's kind of fun, and I get it. But I don't want to dwell too long on that. So town, earthquake. Why is earthquake happening? Big fish, a mile-long fish in this mountain. Something's going on with that fish. The player characters don't know that, but you're going to go inside to investigate. That's pretty good. And so let's go ahead and start in the beginning here. So there and back again. 2 parts. First, the characters venture into the holy mountain to discover the cause of the earthquake. Next, they are going to do something with this god carp. They must return to the surface as the mythic underworld collapses around them. So this is, in essence, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where in the very beginning, he gets the idol. It takes a long time. There's a lot to do. Like, imagine that. Imagine if he actually had to do a whole bunch of stuff to get the idol, and then he gets the idol, and then he's got to get out of there before it all comes crumbling down around him. That's what your player characters are going to be doing in this adventure. There's a lot more to it. Tons more to it, of course. And it's got cool art. Once again, none of the art in these official adventure scenarios, I think, is bad. It is cartoony, but in a good fantasy way. Not too cartoony, I guess I should say. And so it is for levels 5 to 6. I think it's quite deadly. And there's a lot more, of course, I'm going to say about it here. Just this page here is going to tell you about this town of Plish and the 3 different town factions. You've got an earthquake. Earthquakes are going to happen right when you get there. It could injure somebody. You've got rumors and events. And I like how it says stuff like, known by everyone, true, but not the real cause. The cause of the earthquakes. You've got a timeline here. You've got 6 days, pretty much. The first earthquake happens here. 2 at days in, the god carp recovers its composure and returns to its dreams. The deepest ways close. The mountain rests. So all well and good. But on day 5, there's a terrible earthquake that kills hundreds of people. So one thing that's interesting is that there's more to this page. I'm just trying to give you like a little Cliff Notes version of it. There's a cult of the god carp. It's going to encourage somebody to go in there and find out about it. Well, on day 2, someone else is going to be like, hey, you know what? The town council is going to be like, somebody ought to go in there, and we're going to give them some money. And then on day 3, there's even more tremors and aftershocks, and the administrator and priest governor are going to be like, okay, official expedition. And hopefully your PCs are going to be the ones hired for it. You're going to get an expense account, insurance, yada, yada. It's going to be really lucrative for you, but your days are cut down. So this is a timer, in essence, okay? And there's 3 different ways to enter the mountain. And that in itself is interesting. This right here denotes how many watches it's going to take. So this one here, this windy path up to Goldhorn's Doom, is going to be 3 watches. This is going to be 1, and this one's going to be 1. The one here is going to go to these mines, and this number 1 is going to go to the Holy Tree, 3 Spring, okay? So that's what these numbers mean. And like I said, a lot of this video, I'm not going to get into each of the individual like rooms I say, even though some of those are cities, just how this works, because that's what you're going to have the biggest hurdle for you to understand it, if you're not used to this point crawl type system. So time is tracked in watches, and that's every 2 hours. The adventure lasts 6 days, or 72 watches. So what I would tell you to do is to use poker chips to keep track of watches, okay? Keep track of turns as well with poker chips. You're going to need to keep track of something physically so that you know when these watches are over, because going from place to place is going to take watches. Doing certain things in this adventure, exploring more, is going to take watches every 2 hours. You also want to keep track of turns, because that's going to also affect it as well. So like here, it says there's 3 different ways to get in. They're suggested by different people, like the New Faith, the lower classes into the mines, or nobody tells you, maybe some lowly peasants tell you about Goldhorn's doom. The Holy Three Spring is going to be told to you about from the cult of the God Carp or the mining company. So you get different information. It's going to give you different entrances into there, and that is just neat for replayability. We went up here, and now you're going to interact with these rooms here. I say rooms, but they're not rooms. Or we went here, and we went straight there, and we did this and this. And that's where I think it's really cool. You're going to get a lot out of this adventure multiple times that you play it. So there, we got that out of the way. Small treasures. Even this is very clever. And I will say, all these sections in the very beginning, you need to really read them. It's going to really help you. This isn't something okay, small treasures, I get it. Oh, I'm not going to read this little note right down here, whatever. You need to really absorb this adventure. So one thing is clever. I like this. Ancient beverages right here. You could roll a d4 and it's going to be restorative. Maybe it gives you some hit points back. It's going to be alcoholic maybe. It's going to be acidic. Maybe you find some beautiful weapons. So you've got some neat little, these are in essence little tables that you're going to roll on whenever you get in each one of these. You find a small treasure. You might find magical flowers, but it might do something in particular magical and interesting that you rolled up randomly. And maybe you ran this adventure a couple times. No one ever found this certain type of flower. That's cool. That's clever. This is very good. And I'll be saying that about a lot of stuff. But ultimately, at the end of the day, this might not be a good adventure for you. So this is important. Mechanics, point, crawl, adventuring. 8 and 9, okay? Learn this. Understand this, okay? It's all very important to run in this adventure. You've got a sequence of play per watch, okay? You're going to decide actions. Players decide what to do this watch. The referee determines what obstacles the parties face. And then, of course, the description and the encounters that happen in it. And then the end of the watch, and that's where the referee is going to record the time. With attention to exploration resources, spell durations, things like that. And then setup. The referee describes the next region or path available to the party. Great. It's going to break down what watches are for you. Once again, it's 2 hours is a watch. That's 12 turns. So get you 12 chips and do them that way as well. Have multiple stacks of different colored poker chips and go through it like that. That's going to help you when you're trying to do this adventure. Exploring a new path or region takes 2 watches. Traversing an explored path or region takes 1 watch. A lot of this, again, very important. Discreetly bypass a region is 2 watches. While bypassing a region, all monsters are treated as unaware, which is for over here, for avoiding encounters, to the party. Bypassing a fully explored region takes 1 watch less. So if you've been through there before, you're going to try to bypass it again. You're going back. It's going to be 1 watch less. Some exceptional regions or paths may take more or fewer watches, so make sure you pay attention to that as well. I'm going to tell you about movement rates, so it's going to break it all down to you. You've got parts of a cave point crawl. You've got the region, a coherent zone of interlinked natural features, halls, and chambers. And then there's a path, an abstraction of the passages and crawlways connecting 2 regions, including minor chambers, crevices, branches, and dead ends. Paths use the challenge of the region the party is traveling towards. So where you're going, that's going to be what the path is. Okay, it's that place. And then you're going to arrive there. You're going to do your first exploration watch. This right here, this is extremely important with understanding how this is laid out. You arrive there. You're going to get your initial impression of the region, okay? Your immediately obvious paths are going to be known to you. Maybe some major and obvious features. And then you're going to have your first exploration watch. So you're going to have to spend a watch. So you get there, you spend a watch to do your first exploration watch. The party discovers some additional features and paths. Then you have a second exploration watch. Reveals remaining features, paths, and hints to hidden areas, if any. Extremely important. The region now counts as explored for the purposes of bypassing it. Right here. Got it. We're doing good. Interacting with features. When the party explores a feature, play defaults to the dungeon adventuring rules in the main game, where searching takes 1 turn unless otherwise specified. That's where you're going to want those poker chips of turns as well. The referee should keep in mind that 12 turns equals 1 watch. The referee may tally turns spent using a D12. You could use that as well. Advancing the adventure clock. I'm only afraid that you're going to knock it over or pick it up by accident. Advancing the adventure clock by another watch whenever the tally reaches 12. So yes, there is time management here. That may not be for everybody. Okay. Imprecise distances. Ranges and movement rates. When the party encounters a challenge or interacts with a feature, all scales are in feet. So know that's all in feet. Good. Then you've got challenges. Challenges and resting and stuff like that, important. Every watch the referee should roll on the challenges table. And that's way back here. We've got challenges and collapse. This will be important at the end. This is important going all throughout the adventure. Every watch while the party is in the mountain, the referee rolls 2d6. You can roll on this for the obstacles that they face. While the party is at the entrances or traveling overland to an entrance, so that's those three places, or outside, you're only going to roll 1d6. And I like that because it makes it so that you're not getting this other stuff that's not going to affect you. It wouldn't affect you in there. An important thing is down here, class abilities. The referee may want to kind of hand wave some stuff and have some checks be automatic. Not to bog the game down. A thief's ability to climb sheer surfaces might bypass a dex check to climb. So that's important as well. So we've got challenges down pat. Okay, we've got time and location. This is interesting as well. The referee rolls a d12 to determine when the challenge is encountered. With a 1 indicates a start of a watch, and a 12 being towards the end of the watch, since it is 12 turns. The challenge's precise position corresponds to the time spent traveling. So how deep you've gone into there, that's where that challenge is going to happen. You've got to really kind of get all this stuff in your mind, and read this over really well and understand it. It's going to tell you about distances for challenges, not a big deal. Resting, PCs must rest 1 full watch per 3 watches of activity, so that's going to slow you down. And then pressing on without resting is going to give you a -1 to attack and damage rolls until resting for a full watch. Got it. We've got some stuff here for avoiding encounters, because sometimes you usually, we got to go past these things. And that's where that discreetly bypassing an area. If the monster is unaware, it's 11 and 12. If they saw sound or light, they heard something or they saw something, 5 and 6, and had trail or scent, 3 and 6. Alternatively, they can hastily scramble away. You can hurry. Pretty much you're going to kind of run away from them. So escaping from a pursuing monster, you're going to have this, 11 and 12. You drop something as a distraction. Maybe it's a territorial monster, it's going to be 5 and 6. Or if it's a hunting monster, it's going to be 4 and 6. And then here's the rules for if you were lost. Spending an extra watch means the challenge also faces one more challenge. So spending an extra watch means the party also faces one more challenge. The nearest region serves for regional challenges. So it would be the next one. Because what we've got, and I know this is a lot, so bear with me here. So as you get lost, you're going to have to roll something here, and it may give you an extra watch. So one thing that's really neat is this in these challenges is this right here, 6 to 9, a regional challenge. Each regional challenge only occurs once. If the same result is rolled a second time, clues to another challenge or an unknown feature are found instead. So you say, well, what is a regional challenge? Well, if we go here, we've got this regional challenge, 6 through 9. So in this buried city, whenever you roll up a regional challenge, this is what you're going to get. And it's going to only happen once, but it's going to make each one of these areas unique. They, in essence, have their own encounter table. Each one of these things do. There's only 4 of them, but still, it's neat that each one of these has their own regional challenge. Okay, so that's the challenge thing. We're doing good. We're getting that through. And so now we've got a lot of mountain creatures. So these are all unique in here. If some aren't unique, they're going to be their names are unique, but it's going to tell you that they're like a piranha. So you can go look at their stats. They're like a giant catfish. You can go get their stats. So we've got some neat stuff here. Cave wisps, gold horns, fishy person called glabs, needle gnomes, a tattered claw, a water wight. So and I like how it's on these 2 pages. So we've got our point crawl adventuring there. We've got our mountain creatures there. It doesn't really skip over. Our small treasures there. And what's going on in the Holy Mountain in the town there. All well and good. And then we're right into this first area. Now, this might not be the first area you went to, because maybe you didn't take this path to go to the Holy Three Spring, okay? But this is it. So we've got our description. We've got stuff right there that when you first get there, what's happening. If you want to search this pool of water, you want to get all the gold, or you want to move rocks in the pool. And this is where it gets interesting, okay? So this is the thing where with the timer And the different areas, the deeper you go, the further you explore, you'll find more stuff, but it's going to eat up more time. But exploring further may give you a different path. And this is a great example right off the bat with this. So move rocks in the pool. There's a drowned sarcophagus. An ancient scaled water white is in there in red gilded wrappings. And so you're exploring more and more. You're going to have your first one right here. If you explore spending that time, you're going to find some cottages. In one of the cottages is going to have a to-do list mentioning the secret water drinkers shrine up the goat stairs. So you'll be like, well, where is that out? You know, where can I find that thing at? And that's going to be where you're going to find the water drinker shrine here. And it's going to show you how you can kind of go to the next area or find another hidden place whenever you do go to the water drinker shrine, which is here. You're going to be able to find an altar here that's going to take you all the way up to these halls, okay? So that's how it works. Either you're going to do some further exploration, which is going to give you kind of clues to lead you on to maybe another hidden place, or you can just go to the next place, like the path, and it's going to say here, like the underground river. Path to the underground river is going to be tortured tunnels and cascades. So that's how you find the next place, which is going to be on 14. So we've got our regional challenges, and then you see here, you say, oh, we've got collapse. Well, when you're going back through this area, that's when you're going to roll on the collapse and see what happens as you're leaving this area here. Magical items and important things are listed here, like in their own little tiny section here, a little block, which is pretty helpful. And that's all well and good. And now we're at the underground river. Some cool piece of art here. And we're going to go and explore it. If you dive into the pools, it's difficult for you to do with some con checks. But if you go down long enough, you'll reveal the drowned chambers. Okay, so that's cool. And that's here, the furthered exploration. So when you read this, when you get this book, you get the PDF or whatever, it's just going to be very hard to explain here. You're not going to really know where to go, where stuff is, and how it links from one place to another, or where the hidden place is. You need to read all these sections. So right here, investigate the muddy maw. It reveals the dragon's nursery, which is right here. And again, it says hidden. And the steaming waterfall is also hidden. And it's if you swim to an air chamber, whenever you go into the drowned chambers here, you'll find an air one, and it's going to reveal the steaming waterfall. So that's here. So the more you delve deeper, it's going to eat up your time. You're going to find different things. And that's where playing this adventure multiple times will be different for different groups, as they may not go down that deep, or maybe they didn't want to go and try to do this, find this air chamber here. They didn't find the dragon's nursery. And it's just really clever. I really like that. I like the time mechanism, even though it can be challenging for people. And then you're going to use these little maps, these little point crawl maps to take you to the next area. And it's going to show you here, like it's going to say, okay, that's secret. And it's going to be 2 watches to get to here to there if you find this hidden path to get to these halls. Okay, or the underground river is just going to be, it's going to be the same, but it's going to be 1 and 1 watch. Okay, so we've got that. And it's going to go on and on like that. And it's got incredible rooms with some various different sizes and scales and all sorts of stuff going on. There are times where it'll say that you come across a creature. It doesn't say that the creature attacks you, but it's how you want to kind of play it. Brave cave giant octopus to swim across the gap. That kind of tells you when it says brave the cave giant octopus. So it's probably going to try to fight you. But a lot of the stuff, the referee is going to have to take control of this and say whether or not this attacks you. You're going to be going by this and this really, and some of these descriptions here. It's not going to tell you where exactly everything is. And so there's no maps in the traditional sense that we're used to. So you're going to have to, in essence, wing it. This is a big wing it. Fly off the seat of your pants type of adventure that you may not be used to. Now I'm just going to kind of keep flipping here, showing you some of the art, showing you different paths. This is going to really help you understand, because sometimes it'll say in here, but it doesn't give you exactly a good explanation of exactly how you got from one path to another. Like the deep mines here, there's some pipes and broken pumps, and that's how you're going to get to the Magnificent Canyon. Or when you're in the deep mines, you can get to the Needle Gnome outpost through rough veins and arteries, garbage, and dead machines. It's a very interesting adventure with a lot of different types of kind of landscape and features in each of these different places. I mean, you can just look at this picture here and see. Like I said, I could break these all down too with you. There's some golems that are doing some almost like it's almost a little bit like an ancient technologically advanced society from before is also there as well. Here's one of the entrances right here, the Goldhorn's Doom. Again, it's going to take you all, you're going to go all the way up there and shoot you across here. With your further exploration, trying to find things, and it's going to take you in a different path to get down to where you need to go. And all of this is ultimately going to take you, hopefully, just look at the art, look at the scope of this. If it wasn't like this with this point crawl and this really tight, the way that it describes stuff, this book would be like 400 pages. It'd be like 300 pages. It'd be tons of maps. This would be actually like a mega dungeon in essence. So you've got a 48-page mega dungeon that just doesn't use the traditional stuff that we're kind of used to. Then we're going to get to the Great Lake, and this is just fantastic. And I want to definitely delve into this because the huge giant fish, the godfish, the god carp is amazing. This whole section here is just fantastic. How you interact with it, how you help it out, something's bothering it, and how you go about that is just really neat. So dealing with the fish, how the fish talks, it's very kind of self-centered, aloof. It speaks telepathically. Its voice is loud. It's so loud it's painful. It does 1 hit point of damage per watch. So like it's just very, very imaginative how this works. What does the fish want? Fighting the fish if you dare to do that. And then we've got inside the Pharaoh fish, and we've got that whole thing that we've seen before of you going inside like a huge whale or something. You've got this thing where you're going to go inside its mouth and traverse its innards. It's very cool. There's some stuff in there for you to find, and just like I said, it's literally like a watch pretty much to get around this thing. Okay, like to get from one side of the shore to the other side of the shore in this huge lake. Just the scope of this thing is absolutely massive. And then I've got to call this out because you've got like the throat, the mouth, the stomach. And then when you get here at the very end, you've got this big sphincter. And I love this sentence I want to read to you. A narrative veil descends to obscure the details of the PC's strenuous efforts as they try to exit this orifice. That's just hilariously awesome. So if you help the fish out, he's very thankful and he's going to give you a huge blessing. These are very strong rewards for helping them out to a degree. You might roll, get a random blessing, and it may not be as good, but a lot of these are very strong. Everything from being immune to waterborne diseases and afflictions, to be able to swim at your full movement rate, or you can hold your breath for a turn, stat increases and stuff like that. It's all fantastic. The divine fish submerges in a maelstrom of waves and foam, and the collapse begins. See rear end pages. Now we have the collapse. So when the earthquake stops, either at the end of day 6 or when the godfish is appeased, the godfish returns to the earth's heart sea, and the whole dungeon begins folding back into itself. The referee adds the collapse check step to the point crawl, encouraging a hasty retreat. So you're going to roll in each one of these rooms as you're going through them. You're going to have this collapse. Now, some of them can just straight up kill you. They can kill all your party members. There's one I read in particular that just kills everybody, okay? So it's going to escalate. So you're going to start off by rolling a d6. Every watch, they add one more d6 to the collapse check. So a d6 becomes a 2d6 and then 3d6. Some results add more d6s to the check. So it's going to keep going more and more. Then you'll have local collapses. Most results of 7+ include at least one local collapse, okay? Each region's description lists 3 local collapses that unfold sequentially. Very dangerous events that can kill any. So you'll see as you go here, it starts to say local collapse, local collapse. So that's when you're going to go to these sections of the room, and that's where you'll have that happen. And they're going to happen, one at a time in that order, 1 through 3. But like here it says 2 local collapses, massive shock, sudden rupture, 2 local collapses. So you're trying to get out. These things are happening. They're going to do damage to you. They're going to cut some sections off, cut whole paths off. You might have to make checks to swim across or do whatever. It may slow down your movement. There might be all of a sudden, like here it says, bubbling hot, muddy water begins to flood the way forward. PCs must cross a 60-foot flow or spin 2d6 turns, find an alternative route, plus d6 to collapse checks. Boiling water begins filling the region. That seems really brutal, and you're going to try to get out of this thing the quickest you can, of course. You still might have monsters you haven't dealt with. It's not like it's completely crumbling down where you're just going to immediately be killed. It's not this adventurous scene where you're running and everything's being destroyed behind you, but it is going to make it very dangerous. Again, the referee rolls on the collapse table when the party first enters a region, so it doesn't matter if it's a region you've already been in before, then every 2 turns they spin in the region, they start by rolling a d6. So it's going to start happening until you make it out. Wow. I've got to say, this is not an adventure for everybody. This is a very challenging adventure for you to get your head around. You must be okay with understanding this right here. I do think this is an adventure you could just grab and work with it if you're very a good referee. I think this requires a experienced veteran referee. I definitely wouldn't tell, and of course with this level 5 to 6, I wouldn't tell anybody to run this adventure first, but a novice referee, this is for an advanced referee who's able to really do stuff, on the fly, understand how the timing works, wants to actually do that, because there may be some stuff it tells you how to do, but then you just you hand wave it, and we're not going to do that. Sure, do that. It's your game, but if you want to get it how it is, because the timing, movement, different locations, the collapse, all that stuff's very important to its structure. It's going to be a wild adventure. But again, I've already heard from people that don't like Old School Essentials the way they lay out adventures, the way this is so small and just condensed. This is just a couple of words that describe a whole area. 2 words together: abandoned, fishy. Temple complex, abandoned, fishy. Lesser halls, low ceilings. Echoing passages, gloomy. You're going to need to flesh it out whenever your players want it fleshed out. You're going to have to do that kind of work with it and eat up their time and make them continue to move forward. So, it is not an adventure for everybody. Some people absolutely say, nope, that is not for me. I don't think that I'm going to be able to enjoy that on multiple reasons. It's not traditional. I don't like point crawl. I don't like this quick type of words here that just, very small amount of description. I don't want to keep track of the turns and the watches and all that stuff. But I think if you can embrace a lot of that, you can have a lot of fun. And there's a lot of content here, replayable content with again, the word of this adventure is ambitious, extremely imaginative, just jealousy-inducing for someone to have this type of creative juices flowing in their head. Absolutely just stellar vision, and amazing that, in essence, a mega dungeon that you go in and out of can be done in 48 pages. It may not be done exactly the way that you're used to, but it's got a lot of neat ideas. It's going to give you, even if you really like the point cross adventuring rules here, you can really take this out and use it for your own adventures, if you dig that. So you're going to get that from it, and just the way that it does, like the challenges, that's very neat. And there's a lot of cool creatures and stuff in it, and magical items to find. So one thing that's a little bit different is it doesn't tell you all the treasure that's in it, because again, that's random on that small treasure table. So it doesn't tell you that kind of tally that the other adventures have. But I think it is a very cool adventure, not for everyone. I'm so glad I have it. I hope this video has helped you. This video is either going to have someone say, wow, I got to get that adventure. That sounds really cool. The scope of that is amazing. The art is cool. Going and, finding out, going and interacting with the great godfish is amazing, with a bunch of huge areas, places to traverse, the great funnel, the buried city, the temple of protein, the magnificent canyon, the deep mines. There's just a lot of really cool locations, with a lot of just overflowing imagination. But then other people are going to say, no way. For all those same reasons, they're going to be like, nope, I don't want to point crawl. I like the way it normally is. This is just too abbreviated. I don't want to manage all that time and all that stuff. I'm gonna nope out of this one. So I completely understand. So there it is. That is Holy Mountain Shaker. I hope this video is going to be helpful to you. Maybe you're out there, you're on the fence, you've seen it, you don't know if you want to buy it. It's not going to be for everybody, but hopefully it'll be for you. So thanks a lot.